Replacing a CMOS battery. Hi everyone, I'm Leo Notenboom for askleo.com, where I've been answering questions and basically playing with technology for a really long time. Today I'd like to introduce you to my basement and one specific machine in my basement that's having a problem. This is the machine we're talking about. It's actually my old desktop from, well, it's actually about 12 years old right now. So the problem is a CMOS battery issue. Now normally that wouldn't be that big a deal, but I'm going to turn it on here and we'll switch over to the screen so you can see exactly what I'm dealing with. So you can see that we've got this classic date and time not set, press F1, press F2, etc. The problem is that I actually had a configuration setting in the BIOS that said whenever there's a problem, and there will be another problem when I let this continue, whenever there's a problem, don't wait, just keep booting. Unfortunately, if this machine ever loses power, because the CMOS battery is dead, then it loses that setting and comes to a stop. In other words, if it ever loses power, it just won't finish booting. Now, of course, it will, because I was here to press that key. So what I'm going to do is turn the machine off again. And this time, we're going to go spelunking for that CMOS battery. So here we are at the inside of the machine again. I want to be clear, I have unplugged the machine. It's completely powered off before I'm starting to play around inside. Now I will tell you that, I mean, as you can see, and I'm going to step back a little bit, this is how this machine normally lives. It's an old machine and it serves basically as a file server on my network. So it lives here in the basement. It has a few problems. You can see that the CD drive that was internal is currently external, sitting there on top of the machine. And the top of the machine, the side of the machine actually, is always off, so the machine is always exposed like this. The CMOS battery, it's very difficult to see from here, but it's actually down underneath this video card. So what I'm going to have to do is actually pull that up so that I can see where the CMOS battery is and figure out what kind it is so that I can replace it. So I'm going to go ahead and set the camera down, and hopefully you'll be able to see a little bit of what I'm doing as I do it. So one thing I do frequently while I'm working on machines is that I will often just touch the metal case. This reduces the possibility, the probability, if you will, of static actually causing a problem. If I were doing this frequently, if I were doing this in a production environment, I would probably have a wrist strap on that is connected to a wire that is then alligator clipped to the actual frame of the machine. But in a case like this, I found most of the time what I'm doing now is just fine and avoids the problem. So I'm removing the screw that holds in the video card, and I'm also disconnecting the cable to the monitor. I'm going to leave these power cables in place simply because they're long enough. It's not like I'm taking the card out or anything like that. I'm just going to put it to one side once I've got it off the motherboard. Gently wiggling it back and forth to release it from its slot. And of course it's being picky because there's a thing that needed to get pulled. So we'll put that over here, and sure enough, there it is, right there. Let me see if I can get in there better for you. There's the CMOS battery, dead center on the motherboard. So since it's dead, I'm going to go ahead and pull it anyway. There, you heard it flip, and here it is. I don't know that you'll be able to read it, but this is a CR2032 3-volt battery. This battery is 12 years old, and I can guarantee you that these batteries were not designed to last for 12 years. What I'm going to do now is go check my office to see if I've actually got a replacement battery for it. I'll be right back. And sure enough, I do in fact have the replacements. You can see they came in 4 packs from Amazon. Whenever I purchase a battery like this, I never purchase just one. It's always guaranteed that I'll need another one sometime soon-ish. And this clearly proves that little point, because I have no idea what I got these batteries for before. Now you'll remember, I hope, that the battery came out this side up. In other words, you can see there's a definite side to it. There's the side that has the little ring around it. You can see that separates it from this side of the battery. And it's important to have the orientation correct. So that side was down, this side was up. We'll simply snap that back into place. I'll see if I can let you see that happen. And that's honestly, that's really all there is to it. Everything from here back is now putting whatever needed to get removed back into place, which in this case is my video card, which is big enough to require just a little bit of machination to get it into place. You heard the little clip at one end, and it's seated back into its slot nicely. We'll take the screw that came out and put that back into place. The screw is probably optional on a machine like this, simply because nothing's ever happening to it. It's always open. But it certainly doesn't hurt to have it screwed in. The video cable is going back on. And now, only after confirming that everything is back the way that it should be, will I go ahead and plug in the power. Now you can see the video card is back in place. There's a couple of empty slots next to it. This thing right here in the middle, by the way, that's the CPU heatsink. The CPU itself is underneath that. This is an old quad-core machine that I got from Puget Systems in 2008, as it turns out. So everything looks good. I will go ahead and plug the power back in. You can see that happening back there. And from there, it's time to turn the machine on. Now at this point, the BIOS is still unconfigured. So it is complaining about the date and the time still not being set. But this time, I'm going to go ahead and let it run. This time, if I now power off the machine, which I will do, and this was the real problem. But it still doesn't have that setting changed that I need to have changed so that it no longer stops if there's a problem here. I want it to continue to boot. The CPU fan error I'm going to completely ignore, mostly because the machine is open and it's just not an issue. So what I'm going to do, I'll set the camera aside here while I do this. To the extent that it's interesting, you can watch along. I've hit Control-Alt-Delete. It still works in BIOSes like this. I'm hitting the Delete key to enter BIOS setup. Yes, there's a CPU fan error, we know. So in this case, the setting that I care about is here in the boot menu, boot settings configuration, and there it is, wait for F1 if error. Let me see if I can bring that up for you. I'm going to show that to you on this one, but do be aware that this is a setting that will vary dramatically based on the specific BIOS that happens to be installed in your machine. I'm going to disable that, hit F10 to save and exit. And now the machine will reboot. It will still complain about the error. There's nothing we can do about that. However, rather than, see, there's that CPU fan error message, but it's continuing on. It's continuing the boot, and that's what we care about. So the fact that it remembered a date and time tells me that the CMOS battery has been replaced and is working. And it should now remember the BIOS configuration I set so that the next time this machine loses power, it won't force me to come down to the basement to hit F1 so that it'll continue booting. This machine will reboot back on its own when power comes back. And as you've seen by now, the machine runs Ubuntu Linux. So when it comes back, it will automatically just boot into Linux and make all of those external drives you saw hidden or connected to the machine available on my local network. I hope that was helpful. It is something a little bit different from what I normally do, but I thought you might be interested in seeing just exactly what it takes to replace a CMOS battery in an old PC. I'm Leo Notenboom. This is askleo.com. Thanks for watching.